The stadium is alive with noise, a living organism breathing through tens of thousands of voices. Flags ripple in the air, boots scrape against grass worn thin by history, and somewhere beneath the floodlights a quiet figure stands, eyes forward, shoulders relaxed. He does not shout, he does not provoke, he waits. When the moment arrives, when the ball arcs through the air or skims across the turf, he moves with instinct refined by years of discipline. This is Miroslav Klose, a man whose greatness was never loud, yet whose legacy echoes through the very fabric of world football. His story is not one of effortless brilliance discovered early and polished by privilege. It is a story of patience, of late blooming, of relentless work carried out far from the spotlight. It is the journey of a boy born between borders, raised in motion, shaped by humility, and forged by perseverance. A striker who did not rely on flair or fame, but on timing, intelligence, and an unshakable belief in preparation. A champion whose defining moments arrived not through arrogance, but through responsibility. Miroslav Joseph Klose was born on June 9, 1978, in Opole, a city in what was then communist Poland. His parents were both athletes. His father, Joseph Klose, was a professional footballer who played as a striker, while his mother, Barbara Jeg, was a member of the Polish national handball team. Sport was not a distant concept in the Klose household. It was a daily reality, yet life was far from simple. The family lived modestly, and the political landscape of the time offered limited opportunity. When Miroslav was 8 years old, his family made a life-changing decision. They moved to West Germany, settling in the town of Kusel in Rhineland-Palatinate. The transition was not easy. Language barriers, cultural adjustment, and the feeling of being an outsider marked his early years. Young Miroslav spoke Polish at home and struggled initially with German, a challenge that shaped his reserved nature. He learned early to observe more than he spoke, to listen, to adapt. Football became both refuge and bridge. On dusty local pitches and modest training grounds, Klose found a language that required no translation. He joined local amateur clubs, including SG Blaubach Diedelkopf, where his talent began to surface slowly, quietly. There were no scouts lining the sidelines, no headlines announcing a prodigy. Klose was small, lean, and unremarkable at first glance. What set him apart was movement, how he anticipated space, how he timed his runs, how he understood the game without demanding attention. Unlike many future internationals, Klose did not enter a professional academy at a young age. He continued playing at amateur level while training as a carpenter, balancing work with football. This period shaped his character deeply. He learned discipline outside the game, the value of routine, the dignity of labor. Football was a dream, but not a guarantee. Every training session mattered because nothing was promised. His breakthrough came late by elite standards. In 1998, at the age of 20, he joined FC Hamburg and later Kaiserslautern's amateur side. It was at FC Kaiserslautern that his rise truly began. The club, fresh off a sensational Bundesliga title in 1998, took notice of the hard-working forward. Klose impressed not with tricks, but with goals. Simple goals, difficult goals, goals born of positioning and commitment. By the 2001 season, he had broken into Kaiserslautern's first team. The Bundesliga was a different world, faster, stronger, unforgiving. Klose adapted. He scored goals with his head, his feet, from rebounds and crosses. He celebrated with a now iconic front flip, a nod to the joy he felt every time preparation met opportunity. That season, he scored 16 league goals, announcing himself as one of Germany's most promising strikers. National team recognition followed. In March 2001, Miroslav Klose made his debut for Germany. He did not take long to leave an impression. At the 2002 FIFA World Cup in South Korea and Japan, Klose became a global name. He scored 5 goals in the tournament, all with his head, showcasing his aerial mastery and instinctive movement inside the box. Germany reached the final, and though they fell short of the title, Klose finished as one of the tournament's standout performers. What made his rise remarkable was not just the goals, but the manner. Klose was respectful, composed, and disciplined. He did not court controversy. In an era increasingly defined by ego and spectacle, he stood out through humility. He even famously informed referees when goals should not be awarded to him, a rare act that reinforced his reputation for integrity. As his career progressed, Klose moved to Werder Bremen, where he reached new heights. During the 2005-06 season, he became the Bundesliga's top scorer with 25 goals. His consistency, professionalism, and ability to deliver under pressure made him indispensable. That same year, he played on home soil at the 2006 World Cup in Germany. Stadiums thundered with expectation. The nation believed. Klose rose to the occasion. He scored 5 goals in the tournament, winning the Golden Boot and helping Germany secure third place. His performances were defined by clarity and purpose. He was not the flashiest player on the pitch, but he was often the most decisive. Each goal felt earned, the result of years spent preparing in relative obscurity. Behind the scenes, his work ethic remained relentless. Klose was known for meticulous training habits, careful attention to fitness, and tactical discipline. He studied defenders, analyzed positioning, and valued teamwork above personal glory. Coaches trusted him, teammates relied on him. He was a striker who made others better, yet his journey was not without challenges. Injuries began to appear, particularly as the physical demands of elite football intensified. Transitions between clubs, most notably his move to Bayern Munich in 2007, came with pressure and scrutiny. At Bayern, expectations were immense. Goals were demanded immediately, competition was fierce. Klose faced periods of reduced form and criticism, moments that tested his resilience. Still, he endured. He adapted his role, contributed beyond goals, and remained committed to the collective. His understanding of space and movement allowed him to remain effective even as physical explosiveness declined. It was this adaptability that would later define the second half of his career. Internationally, Klose continued to build a record unmatched in World Cup history. Tournament after tournament, he delivered. He scored in 2002, 2006, 2010, and eventually 2014. Each goal added another layer to a legacy rooted in reliability and trust. He was not just present at World Cups, he shaped them. By the time the 2010 World Cup arrived in South Africa, Klose was a veteran leader. Germany's squad was young, dynamic, fearless. Klose provided balance. He scored 4 goals in the tournament, guiding the team to third place once again. His experience, calmness, and professionalism anchored the side. What lay ahead would cement his name in history, but the final chapters of Miroslav Klose's journey, including his record-breaking moments, World Cup triumph, retirement, and life beyond the pitch, continue in Part 2, exactly where this story leaves off. The rhythm of Miroslav Klose's career was never built on spectacle. It was built on moments, quiet, decisive moments when preparation met opportunity and history shifted almost imperceptibly. As the years advanced and the miles accumulated in his legs, those moments did not disappear. They became sharper, heavier with meaning. Every run, every leap, every glance toward goal carried the weight of experience. By the time the 2010 World Cup concluded in South Africa, Klose stood on the edge of something unprecedented. He had already scored 14 goals across 3 World Cups, matching the record set by Ronaldo of Brazil. Yet even then, he did not speak of records. He spoke of the team, he spoke of responsibility. He spoke of the honor of wearing the German shirt. Those around him understood that records would come not through pursuit, but through presence. After leaving Bayern Munich in 2011, Klose made a move that surprised many. He joined Lazio in Italy's Serie A, stepping into a league known for tactical rigor and defensive discipline. For some, it appeared a gamble at a late stage of his career. For Klose, it was another challenge to embrace with humility. He adapted quickly, learning the rhythms of Italian football, refining his positioning even further, conserving energy, choosing his moments with precision. At Lazio, Klose found renewed purpose. He scored crucial goals, delivered assists, and became a leader in the dressing room. His most memorable club achievement in Italy came in 2013, when Lazio won the Coppa Italia, defeating city rivals Roma in the final. It was a moment of deep significance, not only for the club, but for Klose personally, a reminder that his contribution extended beyond statistics. Even as injuries began to limit his availability, his influence remained undeniable. Then came Brazil. The 2014 World Cup was different from all the others. Germany arrived with a balanced squad, technical, disciplined, fearless. Klose, now a veteran among rising stars, accepted his evolving role without resistance. He was no longer the guaranteed starter, but he was indispensable. His presence offered calm in pressure moments, wisdom in chaotic matches, and belief in decisive phases. In the group stage, against Ghana, Klose came off the bench and scored his 15th World Cup goal, equaling Ronaldo's long-standing record. The celebration was brief, almost subdued. There was no theatrical display, only a simple acknowledgement. History, once again, had found him without his asking. Days later, in the semifinal against Brazil, football witnessed one of its most surreal nights. Germany dismantled the host nation in a match that defied logic and expectation. Amid the shock and disbelief, Klose scored Germany's second goal, becoming the outright top scorer in World Cup history with 16 goals. The moment passed quickly, almost swallowed by the scale of the scoreline, but its significance was immense. A record once thought untouchable had fallen to a man who never chased headlines. Germany went on to win the World Cup, defeating Argentina in the final. As the final whistle blew, Klose stood among his teammates, a world champion at last. The achievement felt like a closing circle. From a modest childhood marked by migration and adaptation to the pinnacle of international football, his journey reached its most complete form not in individual acclaim, but in collective triumph. Following the World Cup, Klose continued for one final season with Lazio. His body, worn by years of professional football, demanded respect. Injuries became more frequent, recovery took longer, yet his commitment never wavered. In 2016, after careful reflection, Miroslav Klose announced his retirement from professional football. He left the game not amid decline, but with dignity, having chosen the moment himself. His career statistics told a remarkable story: over 500 club appearances, more than 250 goals, and a World Cup record that redefined the limits of consistency on the global stage. Yet numbers alone could not explain his impact. Klose represented a particular ideal, that greatness could be quiet, that leadership could be humble, that success could be shared. Retirement did not pull him away from football. It brought him closer in a different way. Almost immediately, Klose transitioned into coaching, beginning as an assistant with the German national team. From 2016 to 2018, he worked alongside Joachim Lw, contributing to tactical preparation and mentoring younger players. His understanding of movement, timing, and positional intelligence found new expression from the sidelines. He later joined Bayern Munich's coaching staff, continuing his education in elite football environments. These years were marked by learning rather than ambition, by observation rather than authority. Klose approached coaching the same way he approached playing: patiently, methodically, with respect for process. In 2022, he took a significant step forward, becoming head coach of Austria Wien. The transition from assistant to head coach brought new challenges, new pressures, and new responsibilities. While results fluctuated, Klose's commitment to development, discipline, and structure reflected the values that had defined his playing career. He remained calm in adversity, focused on long-term growth rather than short-term reaction. Beyond football, Klose maintained a private life rooted in family and stability. Known for his reserved nature, he avoided the spotlight whenever possible. He remained deeply connected to his values: honesty, respect, discipline. These qualities had shaped him as a player and continued to guide him as a coach and public figure. Miroslav Klose's legacy is not merely that of the World Cup's greatest goalscorer. It is the legacy of a professional who proved that consistency could rival brilliance, that humility could coexist with historic achievement, and that leadership could be quiet yet profound. In an era increasingly defined by noise, his example stands apart. His journey reminds us that greatness does not always announce itself early. Sometimes it grows slowly, shaped by work unseen, by patience uncelebrated, by belief carried quietly through years of uncertainty. Miroslav Klose did not change football with invention. He changed it with reliability, with trust, with presence when it mattered most. For viewers of Behind the Medal, his story is a testament to the power of discipline, integrity, and perseverance. If this journey inspired you, if it reminded you that true greatness often speaks softly, then support the stories that honor it. Like the video, share it with those who value the deeper meaning behind achievement, and subscribe to Behind the Medal for more untold journeys from the world of sport. This video contains AI-generated images. They are used only for creative illustration and may not represent the athlete's exact appearance.